Hey guys, this is Chris Fate with Cheat the Game coming back at you. This is what we're looking at today. This is actually a continuation of one of the past videos, which I will pop up here in the right hand corner. And this was looking up special flags for GTA 5, where we found super jump, fast run, things of that nature, and I told you how to find these particular flag values. And also, if you're unfamiliar with how to find flags, later on I'll pop up another video you can go take a look at where we go in more depth of looking up flag values and things of that nature. It's basically those hard to find values. But today what we're going to learn is how to make Cheat Engine find your addresses for you. So this goes a lot different than just basic script writing. This goes directly into a direct AOB scan, in which we teach Cheat Engine how to find all the addresses we want to find that are in a specific structure or in a specific registry. And that's what we're going to be doing, so stick around. Okay, now right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Rydian. He's also has a YouTube channel. He's got different things on there, but he does have some tuts based on Cheat Engine. But he has a lot of different tutorials here at the Cheat Engine website. And one particular tutorial that this is what we're taking a look at today is this AOB to data. And that is the one we're going to. There are 3 different ways he teaches here on how Cheat Engine can locate addresses for you. One, and the most popular way, is the pointer scanner. And yes, you can also do pointer scanners for these addresses here. But sometimes that's just not the most efficient way, because it would take forever to do pointer scans for every single address that you want, when it's so much easier to have Cheat Engine find them all at the same time with one AOB script or one AOB scan. So that's the route we're going to go today. Next week, probably within maybe 5 or 6 days, we are going to be taking a look at this other tutorial, injection copies. It's a little more tricky compared on what we want to do with it, and I'm going to be using Lords of the Fallen for that, to look up health, magic, stamina, things like that. Also located within the same registry, but it's a little bit different because we are going to be dealing with shared opcodes, and we have to teach that a little bit differently than it is taught here. But that's what we're going to be looking at today, is the AOB to data. It is on the Cheat Engine website. It starts right here, and he gives a full rundown of it. He teaches you step by step with screenshots and everything. Please go take a look at it. It's all written down here. This is nothing more than a visual representation of his lesson on that. However, we are going to be using one of the more mainstream games, Grand Theft Auto 5. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to start where we've already found our addresses. Hopefully we don't need to go through that step. Like I said, I've already been through it. And let's say, well, we know as soon as we close this game down, all this hard work that we went through looking up these addresses, you know, we're going to have to look them up again when we open the game back up at a later time, because these addresses will change. These are dynamic addresses. But we want to be able to just turn Cheat Engine on and just go on our way with the cheats activated. How can we do that? Well, you know, like I say, the first option is you can generate pointer maps or pointer scan for the address, but you got to do it for each one, and these scans take forever on just one address, so that's not a viable option. So is there any other way to get Cheat Engine to look up these addresses? Well, first of all, we need to see if they're relative to each other. And the way we can tell that is by the addresses themselves. You can look and see. These are obviously in the same registry because they share the same type addresses. You can look and see that they're roughly the same, except by offset differences. Each one of these are in the same registry because they're the same exact address except for offset differences. So basically all we need to do is just locate one of them and find out where in memory it is, and copy down that array structure. And that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and let me take Franklin outside here. so we can test some of these out. And like I say, this is after you've done all your testing, you know your codes work, and we want to go ahead and look up an array of byte scan. This is where finding a unique signature is very, very important. Now, this is tedious. It can get frustrating. You can't let it, because you just got to keep plugging at it, and it will take you a little while. I didn't necessarily mean it was going to be easier than pointer scanner. I'm just saying it's more convenient. But if you don't mind putting the work in, trust me, it is well worth it in the end. So what we want to do is, I'm just going to start with my super jump. I know that that is the lowest offset, because I can tell, seeing that that's the lowest number. If you know how to count in hex, what you want to do is take your lowest offset value, or your lowest address, and use that as your base. You always want to have a base. So we want to go ahead and find where this is at in memory structure. So we're going to browse this memory region after we right click on the address, or you can control B and click on it, and it'll bring up our memory viewer. And it takes us right to the value of that flag. If I change that to 05, which is that value right here, it will turn the flag on. 01 means the flag is off. But I need to find a unique array, but I want to find it for all of these. And I already know, because we've already looked it up, we've done the work. We know that all these flags go down to about right here or so. And our very first flag that we want is right there. So we know our array is going to be pretty damn big, but we need it unique. And after trial and error, which I've already done, I know the best place to start is way up here. You see all the way up here? Here's our flag, but I need to start way up here. A lot of times you won't have to do one this long, but I had to. Now, there may be other simpler ways to do this, and I'm sure some, hackosaurus with cheat engine comes and say, oh no, you could have done it this way and just X out these couple. Well, that's all fine and good. It didn't work for me in that fashion, so I had to find a real long one, because believe me, there are tons of places in memory that have that same byte structure. I have went through this for days. So what we're going to do is copy that to clipboard. We just highlight the array we want, and we need to bring up a notepad, and we just paste it. Now what I recommend that you keep word wrap off. If you turn it on, it looks like this, especially with these long arrays. Okay, this is a long array. I'm starting tough. I'm doing a real tough game. They're not all going to be this way. Usually just maybe about 3 lines of it and you're good to go. But some of these other games that do have a lot going on in it will have the same type of array structures, and so you got to make them longer to make them unique. They have to be unique, or they're going to find lots of different places that had that same array of bytes. You can only have that one place. You need it to find the one place. So that's what we're going to be using. I know this works after we get everything taken care of. Now here comes the work. We have to turn the game off. We need to bring it back up and have it find that same array again. And let me turn the game off and back on, and I'll be right back. Okay, thanks for holding, guys. Now, first thing we want to do is try to find that place in memory. What we have to do is we have to find that super jump address again. And like I say, I describe how to find these flags in the video. It's real simple and easy. You do a scan on a byte, and we want to search for unknown the first time, because we know that it's off right now. We know that it being off is a 1, but we don't ever want to search for a 1. And then we're going to turn the flag on by using our cheat hop to it, like that, and it turns super jump on. So we know the flag is now turned on, so we just go search for a 5 now. And that'll take a minute or two, because it's got about 5 billion addresses or locations to go through. So let me stop it while it searches. Okay, and I just did the scan, and I turned it back off by putting in the same command, hop to it, and it's turned the flag back off. Just let me make sure. Yeah, he's not jumping high anymore. And to save you from having to find the address again, I'm just going to find it, and then I'm going to turn this back on just so we can save some time. We still got a lot to cover. So I'll be right back. Okay. And I didn't really need to turn it off because I found it very quickly. About 2 more scans is really all it took, and I was able to find it. So let me turn it back off again. And we're going to do the same thing. This is now, we found a new super jump address right here. Let me turn this one. This is another one I tried. It didn't work. This is the super jump address. So I'm just going to label that one just for my own reference. Super jump 2. And what we need to do is we're going to browse this memory region again. Okay, and it's going to take us to that memory region. Even though the address has changed, the byte structure is still the same. And we're going to go to our first part again, to where we started our scan, which was up here. Here's our super jump. Here is where we started our original scan the first time. And we're just going to go all the way to the same exact spot. I just memorized this, so that's really no technique I'm using. Alright, and what we need to do, let's turn word wrap back off. Go all the way to the end, and just mash enter, and we're going to paste the new structure in front of it. Now the tedious part. We need to go through every single one of these and change. You see how one's changed? It's now a 7. It was a 5. This was the previous scan. This is now changed 1 to 2. Every single thing that's changed, we want to go in and put a question mark. Just like that. And I'm going to put it for both, because I know that 55 changes to something totally different later, which you find out once you do it about 3 or 4 more times. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go through here, and everything that's changed, as you see over here, I'm putting in a question mark. And that just basically tells Cheat Engine that it's an unknown. That is a changing value, to not, to go ahead and count it, but don't expect it to be a specific number or letter. And that's what I'm going to do. Just go through the whole thing. So I'm not going to show this. I think you get the idea. And I'm going to go through all of this and change it. And I'll be right back. Okay, guys. And I've went through and I've put a question mark in for everything that has changed. And believe me, it don't take as long as you think it does. It only took me about 5 minutes. So all you need to do is put you on some music, or bring up YouTube and bring up another Cheat the Game tutorial and listen to it just while you do this. Shameless plug, I know. But what we need to do is make sure we test it. And we should have done that the first time, and I didn't, because I already knew it worked, and for some reason it eluded me. But you always, when you first get your array, always come up here and test it. To make sure it only brings up one location, because if it doesn't, you're wasting your time right now. So what you do is put it on array of bytes. Make sure that the box is in writable. That makes it readable and writable. And anytime you do an array of byte scan, you need that little box in there. It just ain't going to find it. And just go ahead and let's do our scan. And it has to bring up just one location. And it didn't. That means I have missed one somewhere in there. So let me go back and take a look and check it. That means that there's something in there that is different, that it did not locate. And this is going to happen sometimes. And like I say, I know this is tedious, but believe me, if you don't mind putting this kind of effort into it, trust me, it really is a lot easier than pointers, not as frustrating, and it works all the time. So if you don't mind putting in this just a little bit extra effort, it will work. So let me go through here and see if I can find that anomaly that I've missed. That's why I suggested putting word wrap off. That way you can see it right over the top of the other. It's just so much harder to do it with word wrap on. Some people do it with word wrap on. Hey, more power to you. I do it better this way. And like I say, most of your games, you won't have an array of this long. This is just one of those oddball games. But I wanted to do it as hard as I possibly could find to show you. Because believe me, it's not going to get any harder than what you see right here. It's only easier. This is the hardest game I've ever done this for. So I prefer to show you something that's super, super hard. That way when you go to do it, you'll see just how easy it actually is. And it's not near as tedious or frustrating as one of these harder things is to do. And this is for flag values on top of it, so that should tell you. I mean, I'm doing it as hard gets. Okay, I've gone through and I found the anomaly, so let's go and put this back in there. Just copy it. This is the one with all our... Let me take this one back out and put in the new one with the corrected information in. Do a first scan, and it should only come up with one address here. And just take it a second. And there we go. You see we come up with one location, and that would be where our flag values are, or the start of our array anyway. So let's browse this memory region. Let's bring that back up, and as you can see, it took us right here to our location. Now I'm going to bypass. You want to do this 2 or 3 more times, and throughout the game you may have to tweak it here and there. Some things could change, and yeah, you're going to be doing this way more than twice sometimes. So but like I say, you never really want to introduce this to the public until you've actually went through at least 85% of the game, and it's working every time. But just to bypass that, I want to get on with it. Normally what I would do is I would continue, I would do this again, and then weed out any more that has changed. But for right now, let's just get on with the script so I can show you how to do it. We're going to go ahead and go to Tools, Auto Assemble, and I'm just going to go from scratch this time. You can go with AOB injection and just take out a bunch of stuff, but I'm just going to do it from scratch. That's the best way. And what we're going to do, we're going to go with the command AOB scan. And not an AOB scan module, because I'm not putting in a module this time, because I don't know what module these flags are located in, and it don't matter. And what I'm going to call this is I'm going to call this array start, because when it goes to scan for these bytes that we just pasted in here, we're going to paste it in there and close it off with the parentheses. When it goes to start, it finds that array, that location, it goes to that 7B right there, and also right here. That 7B, let's bring it back up in memory view. It's going to, boom, when it scans all this and comes to this section, boom, it's going to start right there and waiting on further instructions. And it's going to call that byte, the very first byte, it's going to call that array start right here. We named that first byte array start. So now we need to name the byte that we're going to manipulate. Let's see if we can find that byte first. Okay? Ah, crap. Let's do this. There we go. And this is the one we want to start with. The byte we need to start manipulating is super jump. And we need to find out where that is located. And the easy way to do that is just to change it and look. And it shows you right here. Here's where we need to count all the way up to get to right here. That's where we need it to start. So that's what we need to do. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and just count all the way till you get to right here. Okay? So bear with me just a second. Okay, so I've counted all the way from the very start of our array, which is 7B, all the way to the very start flag that we want to change. And all the way is 100, and let me see, that's 168. I'll go ahead and put that in decimal form, 168. And we convert it to hex. It's also shown you up here is A8. So we need to remember that, A8, okay? And a real easy way to do that is all of these go 16 across. What I do is just don't count the very first line where the array starts, because that always starts with 0 in hex. So we want to start with the next line, and it's 16 across, and just count all the way down to and right to the line above where you need to go, and that's 9. So 16 times 9 was 1. Then I just counted the others to the flag all the way to 168. So, but that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and change this back to 1 because we want to see if our code works. And we want our code to start here. So that's what we're doing. So let's bring back up our template, our script. And what we want to do, I'm sorry, I must have accidentally deleted that. Array start. There we go. So we know that array start is going to start here at 7B. Now we need to create another word that's going to represent the byte we want to manipulate, which is that flag value down here. Okay? So we have a name for the start of the array. Now we need a name for the flag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to register symbol. And you're going to see how just important register symbol actually can be to you. How much that can actually help you. You're going to see it in action because we're going to use it. And I'm just going to name that underscore special. Just like that. That's going to be the name of that very first byte we're going to manipulate. We also need to create a label because we're going to use that. So you register the symbol. That way we can use it outside of the script. And we're going to register it here as a label because we're going to use that as the byte we're manipulating. So where does the array start? It starts at array start. And I got to spell it right. Make sure. And these are case sensitive, and you got to make sure everything's spelled correctly. So array start is the very start of the array. And what byte do we want manipulated? We want that special manipulated. But we got to tell Cheat Engine where that special is going to be located. If we just leave it like array start, it's going to manipulate that 7B byte. That's why we had to count all the way to our flag, which is in this, which is also located within this same array structure here. It was just easier to count it here. But we need to tell it where it needs to start. So we started from here, and then we count 1, 2. The very start will always be 0. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, and then you just count in decimal. Put it in your calculator. As soon as you get to the byte you want to manipulate, put it in decimal form in the decimal tab, and then convert it to hex. That's 168 in hex, A8. So I need it to go. It will be array start plus A8 all the way over because that's the byte I want manipulated. It's array start 0 plus 168, and that will equal special. Okay? Now, that's all you have to do to get it to look up addresses. We do want to be able to turn it off. All we really need to do is unregister that label to turn it off. So we'll put unregister symbol and the same thing, special. And there you go. That's all you need to do. Cheat Engine will find it that way because you've already told it where it's located. It starts at 7B, which we named array start, and it's going to count 168 bytes from there, and it's going to name that special. That special will be that super jump flag. Okay? So assign that to the current cheat table, just like so. We can close that down. And how's it going to find our addresses? I'm going to show you. Let's go ahead and label this find specials, or find specials addresses. Alright, so we turn it on, and it's going to take it about between 10 and 30 seconds, depending on how fast your CPU is. And you see it's already found it. It's already turned it on. So how do we get it to the address? Well, what did we name that byte? You remember? We named that byte as special. That's what that byte is named. That's what Cheat Engine and the computer recognizes that one particular byte as that name. So guess what you have to put up here? Just call it that byte. Its name is special, and change it to a byte, just like that. Look, add it to the cheat table, and name it super jump. And I like putting it in there, so what I do is I move it up, and you see that little line? The little line goes in between the words, and it'll just put it as a part of that, because it's not going to find these addresses until it's actually done the AOB scan. Okay, let me go ahead and save what I got so far so I don't lose anything. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. And that's pretty cool. Take a look. I mean, we can check it. Go over here and just turn it on with the 5, because we know 5 turns it on, and there it is. Look, it changed it. It found our address for us. Let's turn it back off. Now, how do we find the rest of these? Well, that's why we saved our previous ones. We went ahead and named them. And also, you want to keep them in order from smallest to greatest. And this is why. Because every single time, these addresses are going to be the exact same distance apart. No matter how many times you look up or how many times these addresses change, they'll always be equal distances apart. So how do we find fast run now? Alright, well, what we do is we take the old address, which is bigger. The fast run, the one we're looking up, is bigger because we started with the smallest first. We go back to our hex calculator. Let's clear it out, and let's just paste in that address minus the old address of the jump. So we go minus and paste in the old address, and that equals, in hex, it has to be in hex. Remember that. We're looking only in hex, not decimal or anything else, just hex. It's 10. The distance from that in hex is 10. So how does that help us? Well, we know that fast run is greater, higher, so it will be special plus 10. Special's already in there. So all we do is plus 10. And that's our fast run. And we can label it fast run. And if you don't believe me, we can go test it out. Let's go back into the game. I say I can't jump high now, and he's not running super fast or anything, but let's go turn our flags on. Make sure we put this on byte here, because these are flags are byte values. And let's just change both of them to 5, which turns them on. Okay, now the cheats are on. Now let's go test it. Did it find it? Well, we can super jump. And can we run fast? Look at that. And you do each with the same ones on down. You go to the next one. The next higher up is 38. So you just copy it. Go to your hex calculator. Clear it out. Make sure you're staying in hex mode. Then you stick in minus special. And that equals 18. So our fast swim, which is the next highest up, is special plus hex 18. And you just keep doing that for each one, all the way down. And that's what I'm going to do. And now if we were somewhere where we could swim, he'd be swimming like a beast when we turn that on. And you keep doing that for each one of these, all the way down. But here's the real test. Let's go ahead and turn these back off. And I'm not going to do the others while I'm recording. I'm going to do those while I'm not recording, and we're going to come back and test them. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these in here. I'm doing the exact same thing, taking the bigger, minus what special is, and that's their distance, and I'm putting them in there. And I'll be right back. Okay, thanks for holding, guys. And as you can see, I got the rest of them in there. It's just special plus whatever distance that flag is from that special, which is super jumps. Super jump is the special, and each one of these flags are a specific distance away, so it's special whatever their distance is from that. And as you see, I went ahead and did all the math and put that all in there, and Cheat Engine has found it for me. Now the real test begins. We need to take the game down, and we need to load the game back up, and it needs to be able to find it again. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and bring the game back up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I brought the game back up. Now let's go ahead and take Franklin outside here. As you can see, we don't really have any of the codes on. So let's go turn this on and let's see. And as you notice, I don't have it attached to the game, and it shows what I have written for it to find the addresses, as you can see here. So let's see if it does find the address. Let's go ahead and attach the game. And if it doesn't find the address, well, that's when you got to do it again and go find any more anomalies and put more question marks. But, you know, after you do that a few times, then you keep testing it, and eventually it just starts finding them all the time. That's when you know you got a good code. So let's go ahead and turn that on. That could take it a couple of seconds, and look. Just that quick, even with that long ass code, look how quick it found our addresses. So let's go cut on a few of them and see if they work. Let's cut on our super jump, fast run, and another favorite of mine is these explosive bullets. Forgot to cut that one on. Lock them into place. And later, I'll go set hotkeys for these, where I'll just got to mash a button, it turns them on and locks them in. So let's go see if it worked. Let's see if he can do all these things. Let's jump. Let's run. He's running fast. Yeah, I say he can super jump. Let's grab my gun here. Explosive bullets. Well, that's pretty much it. You just go ahead and save your work, and like I say, you want to keep testing that throughout the game. And any more anomalies, if it doesn't find it, that means that there's another anomaly in there that you may need to go in there and put some question marks in. But other than that, it's just tweaking it from here on out. And each and every single time, it will find every single address for you. It's better than pointers. It doesn't take as long as pointers, even though it can be a little more tedious. It's not quite as much of a pain, and it doesn't take you nearly as long. It took more time teaching it than it did to actually do it. And each and every time I load up the game, it will automatically find all my addresses for me for my flags that I want to use in my game. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description later when I make sure that I've tested these out even further in the game, and you're more welcome to have all my cheats. I got infinite health and all that stuff, so I'll leave that link in the description. But that's it, and that's what I want to show you. Now next time around, we're going to be using Lords of the Fall, and I'm going to show you how to have Cheat Engine look up addresses with shared opcodes. It gets a little more intricate, but it's a lot easier than this one. This is almost like a worst case scenario type situation. To me, it's more convenient than pointers. I hate looking up pointers. It takes forever, and a lot of times you sit there and do all that waiting, it don't even find a pointer path. So yeah, it's a hit or miss. So I like this a lot better. It does work, and I haven't run into a game yet where I couldn't make it work. But that's it. If you have any questions, comments, don't hesitate to leave them down there or write me directly. Also, I got a channel started on Facebook. I'll leave that link also in the description, and I'll probably leave it in the comments too. It's over at Facebook. Let me see if I can bring that up right quick. And I've just opened it, so there's just a few people in there now. But if you'd like to be a part of it, I'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. And this is a good place to come ask your questions, and other people can help you too. We talk about, as you can see, we talk about gaming, period, and anything and everything. We talk about game hacking. We talk about just games in general, computer builds, whatever you want to talk about gaming wise, even stuff like this. Charlie, he's also an admin of the site, and he helps me out a lot. Real good guy, and he posts a lot of stuff in there. So come join us here also. As you see, this is the address, Facebook groups, Cheat the Game, and just come on and join us. I'd love to have you. Also, you can check out my friend Bonomi. He's also he stated that he's going to be going into, hacking Xbox games. So I wish him all the luck with that. And when he gets some of those up, I'll start linking his videos. He specializes in hacking Android. He wants to get into the Xbox, hacking Xbox games. So, we'll see how he does that. So that's going to be really exciting. Also, come and join us over at guidedhacking.com. That's guidedhacking.com. Me and my friends are all over there. They go well beyond Cheat Engine, teaching C++, C#, IDA Pro, and even beyond that, all the way from beginners to advanced. There's a whole treasure trove of knowledge over there for game hacking, and just a great bunch of people over there. Go check them out. Well, guys, that's it. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down there. I'll be sure to get to each and every one. You guys take care of yourselves. Keep on hacking. And most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. Take care now. Let's go wreck some havoc.